Welcome to another episode of First Principle Thinking, this time with a special guest, Deniz Oz, serial entrepreneur. Would you like to elaborate a bit on that? What's your background?
First of all, thank you very much for having me on here. It's an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
My background currently, I'm a lawyer. I am a partner in a law firm here in Dubai in the UK. I am one of the partners of the original Dubai Chocolate. I'm the managing director of a small tea company. It was founded by the British and the Portuguese royal family. And I'm the advisor to many lords and politicians across the world.
Very impressive. Very big flex intro. Would you tell me a little bit your story? Like, how did you start with that?
Yeah, well, look, I grew up with absolutely no money. So I did not have much. I'm from a little village in England. When I first went to university, everybody had a lot of money. I was surprised how they're spending $50 on dinner. I'd never been able to do something like that before. And so when I was at university, I was studying law. I came across the idea of franchises. I approached a local accountant in a town in England, and we started an accountancy and finance company together. Fast forward 3 years, that was the fastest growing finance company in the UK. I was only 24. I was featured on BBC at that point. Now, I'd already graduated. So instead of working in a law firm as a trainee under lawyers, I just took shares into a law firm instead. So when I was 24, I owned a law firm, I owned an accountancy company, and that opened my doors to a lot of clients, a lot of politicians, royal families, absolutely everybody that I'm interacting with now. I used the capital to invest in smaller companies, grew them, we exited, and here we are now in Dubai.
Very, very impressive. Yeah. Actually, I have a list of some of the questions. So, about the story, can you start like by the first step? How did you, I mean, you started with law, right?
Yep.
You're a lawyer, corporate lawyer.
Yeah.
How did you decide to go into corporate law?
I went into corporate law primarily to protect myself. My first experience with entrepreneurship was an absolute disaster.
Please tell me. I want to know everything.
So without going into too much details, I'm still under a confidentiality agreement. I can't give any names or specifics. But obviously, behind the scenes, you do know this. You were partly involved in the story. So somebody who I thought was very close, we partnered together in a business. And later I found out that all the money disappeared. I was unable to access the bank accounts, the companies, the entities. We had to lay off all of our staff and deal with lawsuits for many, many years. That was an absolute disaster. So I thought, let me study law so this never happens again. For those of you who have used lawyers, you know how expensive they are. So I wanted to avoid all of those fees and do my own legal work. So that is primarily why I did law.
Wow, what an impressive story. I think not the most common one. If I ask like other lawyers, what's their story, why did they become lawyers? But I think yours is like one of the most interesting one because it's a very, generally from an entrepreneur's perspective, like a very understandable take.
I am my own case study. When I pitch to clients, they say, why do I need a lawyer? Well, take a look at me. I have some clients who say, well, if you're such a good lawyer, why did that happen to you? That was pre me being a lawyer, just to clarify, in case anybody is thinking.
Very impressive. So from law, you studied law, you became a lawyer. So the next step, I mean, you're now involved in a Dubai Chocolate company. I love Dubai Chocolate, you know that. In one of a very big tea company. So how did this became into going into like tea and chocolate? Because this, many people would not assume that this has anything to do with like law or these kind of things. Like how did you decide to go into this direction? How did it happen?
I don't promote myself as a lawyer anymore. That was in a previous life. Now I'm just a businessman who knows the law very well. I use my previous legal knowledge to help myself, to help clients, and to grow them internationally. Why tea and why chocolate? I'm English and Turkish, so tea comes naturally. And if you don't like chocolate, then I'd say your character is probably debatable. So it's just two things I enjoy very much. I came across Dubai Chocolate because the founder of the original Dubai Chocolate needed some legal advice. That's how we met. In terms of the tea company, as I mentioned, I have a very large network of royal families, of politicians all across the world. So one gentleman called Sir Ali Rahman, he's received a knighthood, so we have to call him Sir as a prefix to his name. He is the chairman of a company called the London Tea Exchange. This company was founded by King Charles II 350 years ago, and also his wife, which was a princess of Portugal, Catherine of Braganza. It's an absolutely huge tea company. They serve 84 royal family members across the world, and they've been operating for 350 years. So having trust in my circle of politicians and clients, he suggested that I become the managing director of the company for the GCC. That's how I got involved in there. However, prior to that, obviously, I built up a reputation in that circle of excellent legal services. So they needed somebody they can trust, and they came to me.
Now, many people would ask, how did you got the connections in the first place?
All thanks to him. So he's my main connection. I've advised a lot of people before in the House of Lords, which, for those who don't know, it's the English Parliament. You have the House of Commons and the House of Lords. The House of Lords are probably equivalent to Russian oligarchs. If you want to give a comparison, the oligarchs are probably slightly richer, but that's the English equivalent. So I just spend time around them. We drink tea together. That's how I meet them. We've done tea for the King of Spain, for the King of Sweden, the Emperor of Japan, for the King of Portugal. So as I sit in these rooms and provide these people with the tea, they find out I'm a lawyer, I have other business interests, and we find common grounds and we do business together. The most important thing with me is I'm just friendly to them. They're treated in a special way by everybody. Everybody's afraid to talk to them, or they're nervous to talk to them. They're all people at the end of the day. When you're sat one-on-one in a room, it's just human to human. So I think I have a talent to build a connection with these people. They like me, I like them, and then business comes as a result.
Impressive. But another question, the guy you just talked about that got you the introduction to all of these people, how you met him?
It was a referral. I got referred to him and we did a tea tasting. I said, wow, your tea is absolutely amazing. I want to get involved. And that was literally how it happened. And he already knew who I was and what I did. I offered services for investment banks and corporate law services to clients. So I was doing a service for one of his friends. That's how we met. And his tea was absolutely amazing. By the way, the teas are $1 million for a kilo for some of the teas.
I know.
They're very, very rare teas. You know.
Very tasty.
Yeah, I tried to sell one to you. So he's helped me a lot. He's a very, very nice man, and he's opened the doors to a lot of important people for me.
So talking from one referral to another, how you got the initial referral, so to say, like the first person who got you into the circle?
That was my client who was his friend.
Ah.
Yeah, I provide investment banking services. They wanted to set up an investment bank and to get finance. I have investor connections and I have the legal connections here to do both. So we had a strategy for him, and then we drank tea. And we just connected, we talked, we laughed, and we went for dinner afterwards. And in particular, I wanted to get involved because it's a United Nations initiative. The whole purpose behind the tea company is not to sell tea, it's to help people. In the past year, we've helped 35 million people get a pay rise in agriculture, in Sri Lanka, in Bangladesh, in all of these countries where tea is made. So the people on the tea farms, they don't have money to feed their families, but we're drinking all this premium expensive tea and enjoying it. So that had to change. And what Aliur did, Sir Aliur, was he took the initiative from scratch and he took it to the UN. And 17 countries have signed the charter so far. And we're just going. By this year, we should aim to have 250 million people getting a pay rise from this initiative. It's an official UN initiative now. By 2030, it should be mandatory to follow for all UN countries.
Wow, how impressive. Just to get like a sense of time, how old you are right now?
26.
26. So some people out there, they think, wait, 26 seems like a bit young for all these experiences. So when did you start at your first real company, like your first real venture?
I was 18.
Okay.
So it's a little bit unorthodox. I had a very close friend from Nigeria, and he's very tall and he's big, and he was in the security business. So I was at university studying law, and he was doing business that wasn't regulated because he did not know how corporate law worked. So we partnered with him. For 6 months, 6 to 12 months, we ran a small security business. We got the license and we did it on the doors of London restaurants, of the nightlife scene of London. I was still at university studying law at the time. That was my first actual experience with business.
With 18, right?
Yeah, no one knows this aside from you and now everybody who's watching. So yeah, that was my first real experience. After that, I did marketing in SMMA, social media marketing, at a time when the market wasn't saturated. This was in 2018. So no one was doing it back then. There was, in terms of influencers, Iman Gadzhi was doing it, not a lot of people. So at that point, the market was still open to take, and I took it. So for 2 years, I did that business. I made enough money to invest in the accountancy business, which then took me to the next level.
So from that point, like you started with 18, similar to me, I also incorporated 18. How long did it took you, how old you were till you made your first million?
It took me 4 years.
4 years, okay.
4 years, because the first 2.5 years I made barely a penny because it is very, very difficult. By the way, just to clarify, age has nothing to do with with success in business.
100%.
All these young
it's
founders.
Not an indicator to judge.
Absolutely. Look at yourself.
Yeah, right?
Right? You've done amazing things and you're only 20. All these founders are creating billion-dollar companies. It has nothing to do with it. I'm advising people who are 60, 70 years old, seasoned businessmen who are worth $100 million minimum, and I'm 26. They're taking advice from me. It's just about how you present yourself to the client and about what you know. Knowledge is power, as they say. So I made my first million, like I said, at 22. It took me 4 years. First 2.5 years made no money. What really clicked for me was understanding how to talk to people and how to maintain a network. Just doing marketing and basic advertising and getting inbound leads is not enough. Obtaining clients is one thing, but retaining them and maintaining them is a completely different ballgame. Anyone can get a client and do a service, they're gone. They're never going to come back to you again. But providing excellent services, being friends with them, having them trust you, having an amazing brand that builds trust is how you maintain clients. And that's how I got to the first million, just building up clients.
So you were 22 for your first million?
Yeah.
Or?
Yeah.
Very impressive.
Yeah.
Very
Thank you very
much. I think this sets now like a new bar for everyone watching. Right now it's like 16, 17, 18. You have a tight schedule, only 4 years.
Well, so that million quickly disappeared the year after.
Oh, please tell me this story. Do you need to elaborate a bit on that?
Yeah, so I'd finished studying law, but I had no intention of going into law.
Mm-hmm.
And then a year after I made my first million, my so-called business partner and one of my closest friends, who you also had the pleasure to meet, he tried it with you, but it was too late. He, as I mentioned earlier, he took away with pretty much all my money. The remaining money I had left was just to live for the next 6 months and to pay other legal fees and investigation fees for forensic accountants to see where the money went. Unfortunately, that was not recovered. So that million went after 1 year, and here we are again, second time round. So often people say you got lucky the first time. If you can do it again, then it's not luck. Clearly, there's a certain system you have to follow to make the million. Anyone can make money. It's just about following a system, and that can be different for everybody else. You can make money from selling anything. People make millions from selling water, which seems like the most basic thing in the world. It does not matter what you do. You just build the business, build the brand, and you get attention. We live in an economy that's primarily dictated by how much attention you get. If you look at all the streamers, YouTubers, influencers, they make millions. Not because, with all due respect, most of their products are not very good, whether it's the merchandise they sell or the drinks. Prime, no offense. But the brands themselves are larger than life. So people are going to buy this anyway, regardless of the product. So attention is number one. If you can get attention and you can capitalize on the intention you have, you'll be a millionaire. It can take you 6 months to make $1 million from nothing.
Wow, this is some very valid advice out there, yeah.
Currently, my case is different. I work strictly off referrals, but my circle is also different. My circle is politicians, royals, billionaires, elite level businessmen. Currently, we are working on my public profile. However, you can also make $1 million without that if you have the right network. Your network is your net worth. I know that's a very cliche saying, but it's absolutely true.
100% agree. Yeah. Very impressive, everything. So, a few like generic questions now because I'm curious. Yeah. What was your first experience meeting a billionaire? Like how old you were when this happened? Like first billionaire you met then?
First billionaire, liquid billionaire.
Billionaire with a B.
Actual billionaire.
Actual one.
Okay, 23.
23, okay.
Yeah. My experience was one of complete shock. I did not expect it. When you think of billionaire or royal family or politician, you put them on a pedestal. You think of an out of this world figure that's unattainable. They're just normal people. Just like me, just like you. You can speak to the person on the street. You speak to a billionaire, you will not know. Most billionaires are very discreet. I had no idea they were until I did their legal work for them and I saw their financials. I realized, wow, they're a billionaire. I probably should have charged him more in hindsight, but he's a billionaire for a reason. So we negotiated. So it wasn't a crazy experience at all. It was just similar to what we're having right now. We had some tea and that was all. We had some good food, a good laugh, a good conversation.
Amazing. So one more question. So we're both in Dubai right now, but in a few hours is my flight to SF.
Yes.
So how did you got here? Like, what's your story?
Look, it's no secret that London is failing. England and the West in general is a failing society. There's not just in terms of tax, in terms of safety. Most importantly, in terms of people's attitudes towards business. You tell somebody you want to start a company at 18, they'll tell you you're stupid. Don't even do it. Go get a job. Do something more stable. In Dubai, it's completely the opposite. Everybody here is a hustler. I go get my haircut at a barbershop. They sell me Rolexes. Would you like to buy a Rolex after, right?
Crazy, I love it.
Real estate, Rolexes, cars. It's my local barber,
right?
Okay? My Turkish
also
barber.
Your local real estate agents too,
right? So everyone who comes here is just a natural hustler.
Yeah.
I like that because it uplifts me. It's positive, and the general energy of Dubai is positive because everybody wants to improve. Everyone's helping each other. Now, of course, there are people you can't trust in every city. That's not exclusive to Dubai. You just need to have enough experience and be skilled at reading people so you avoid the scammers and you focus on the real people that will benefit you in your life here.
And this would be my follow-up question. There are a lot of sketchy people out there, a lot of scammers, a lot of people, I call them Fugazis, people who are say something that they aren't. Over the time, you develop like a sense of smell, like to decide if this guy is sketchy or not, like if this might be a scam or not. How did you evolve the sense of understanding who could be legit, who isn't?
There is no secret strategy to determine if someone's a scammer. It comes, unfortunately, through experience, through getting scammed again and again and again continuously. You will start to recognize patterns. So it's all about pattern recognition. Whether you're dating women, whether you're doing a business transaction, it's all the same. You realize certain behaviors in people, and then you can decide to continue and burn yourself or to step back and to have peace. So
what do you say are like the biggest patterns you're able to articulate without like people needing to have the personal experience of getting scammed from X?
Yeah, well, look, in a conversation, the most important thing is tonality. You can analyze people's tone. I cannot portray this tone right now, but there is a sense of desperation in people when they just try and force sell you things. A lot of people you meet initially will say, I am the right-hand man of this royal family or of this person. I'm a billionaire. I'm a partner at this company. Everyone in Dubai, if you ask them, they're a partner. So the first thing I do is ask for their documents. Give me your trade license. Give me your company documents. If they can't provide that, they're not a partner. They're just a middleman of a middleman of a middleman. The issue with that is a double-edged sword because people also think you're a scammer. When I try and pitch people and I go in with the royal family angle, people think I'm a scammer. So I hosted the Portuguese royal family, not just me, a group of us. We hosted them at the Raffles Hotel on the Palm Jumeirah here. Amazing hotel, by the way. And they stayed for around 10 days. Before I approached the Raffles, they did not believe me. I said, look, the Portuguese royal family is coming. We need some rooms. And they didn't believe me at all. It took me 6 months and they were like, no, he's another Dubai scammer. I just walked in. I said, I'm representing a royal family. Let's go. And they did not agree. Only when the king himself, His Royal Highness Don Duat, contacted the Raffles, I got a message from them saying, okay, so you were right. Nobody believes anybody here anymore. And that's a result of the scammers here that constantly lie.
But it's a good pattern, a desperateness and no voice. So to differentiate, this is...
Yeah, absolutely. If they say they do too many things. Now, in our situation, it's different because we're in venture capital. We're in the investment industry, in private equity. So naturally, we get involved in various different businesses. As an investor or as a director, that's our job. But if somebody's selling real estate, who's also selling cars, who's also selling finance services at the same time, it's weird. So
and then tries to get you some perfume, some oud.
Absolutely. So what I do, even if I'm a partner of a company, I put all the spotlight on the actual founder. For example, if, let's say, I have a client who sells supercars, I will say, look, this is the owner of the company. I'm just his lawyer. Even if I'm a partner or not, they don't need to know that. At the end of the day, I'm going to make my money from the sale anyway. So stop saying you're a partner of 10 different things because people naturally just do not gravitate towards you.
Some valid advice. Now back to the Dubai question, how you got here. So, you know the current situation right now with the war and everything, the missiles flying everywhere.
I don't know what you're talking about.
For the people who don't know, who watch this maybe later, there used to be war. It still is right now during the time of recording. So, and many people left, unfortunately, the city. I'm flying today, but not because of the war. I would have flown anywhere to SF for opportunity. So, what's your current view on Dubai? Do you think it will recover quickly, or what's your perspective on that?
First and foremost, guys, it's just a firework display by our Iranian friends.
Like a little missile ain't gonna
Dubai
scare me,
is extremely safe. Dubai, I'd rather be under missiles in Dubai than London right now. The day before I came to Dubai, my phone got robbed. I just bought a brand new phone. It got stolen. So London is not safe at all. Most capital cities in Europe are not safe at all. This is nothing.
Yeah, still feel safer with the missiles flying than in the UK with the people
We have
the knives.
Everybody's out. It's busy. We're at the beach. We're enjoying ourselves. Dubai's extremely safe. So if anybody ran away from Dubai thinking that it's a war zone like 2005 Afghanistan, absolutely not. Everyone who's coming to...
Totally overreacting.
People are completely overreacting. Dubai is the safest place in the world, without a doubt. That's a fact. So in every crisis, there's an opportunity. Dubai has a history of recovering from crisis. They recovered from the 2008 financial crisis and COVID. And they're going to recover again. The leadership here is very, very strong. It's one family, one leadership. They listen to their people. And everything they do, every law they make, every initiative is based towards what the people want. They attract people. They want to attract as many people here. And there are many incentives. Right now, the prices are low, of course, naturally. People are panicking. What the media is really good at is playing with people's emotions, instilling fear into people. And those people leave. They panic sell. So for smart, brave, courageous buyers, you can buy property, you can invest in distressed deals, you can buy companies where the share value has been decreased, you can set something up.
Black Friday.
Absolutely, it's literally...
It's the Black Friday in business.
Yes.
It's time to buy.
It's Black March to buy the companies. So now is an amazing opportunity to make money. Also, because everybody's left, the competition's gone. The only people remaining in Dubai are either people who cannot leave because of financial restrictions, people who are working here and they're geographically tied here. Of course, the locals are not going anywhere.
Yeah, of course.
But it's the people who are smart. They're staying here. So once everything goes back to normal, which will very soon, they're already going to have their businesses here. I did not sell anything. When the war is over, or the so-called war is over, my business is going to continue running as usual. I have the cash reserves to maintain staff, to maintain operations. Nothing has slowed down. So this is the best time to make money. Look at the stock.
Everyone's saying, well, it's like a little argument with fireworks.
It's nothing. It's just a bit of fireworks.
Right?
You watch fireworks all the time on bonfire night on New Year's. This is the same thing. It's more safe. The only potential damage done are the debris. And look, there have been people who have lost their lives. So rest in peace to them, and I hope their families are doing really, really well. But the scale it's just micro compared to what people are making out to be. The way people are talking about it, Dubai is currently on fire, everywhere is burnt, the buildings are knocked down. It's not. Life is continuing as normal. Come here, do your business. There is a huge opportunity to make money right now.
100%, I agree. It's just a Black Friday for us normal people.
Hey, I can't complain. Lawyers always make money in crisis.
Right?
Everybody wants to leave their contractual obligations in Dubai. They come to me, Dennis, I want to exit my contract. How do I do it? Well, there are ways. I'm not going to say it now. I have to charge for it. But so right now, business is good for me. Absolutely.
This is great to hear.
Yeah.
It's always try to find opportunity no matter how difficult the situation is. There's always some opportunity no matter how big the trouble is right now.
Yeah, there's a famous quote. Usually I know exactly where the quotes are derived from. Unfortunately, I do not know where this one comes from. It's probably better that way. It goes along the lines of, a fool complains about a hole in his pocket. A wise man uses it to scratch his balls.
Man, you just demonetized my video, man.
It's fine.
Now I have to report from YouTube.
It's fine. How much? I'll give you $1 million tea to make up for it.
I'm still waiting for my Dubai chocolate tea, by the way. You know this company, he combined the Dubai chocolate with the tea and made the Dubai chocolate tea. It's the most insane tea I had in my life. And I'm still waiting for months on that tea.
It's coming.
I tried a half a year ago. I still don't have it.
You didn't pay the invoice. It's $1 million, please.
I'm still waiting on it.
But look, the point of that quote, it sounds silly, but it's exactly what you said. During every difficult time, there's opportunity. Whether you go through pain, betrayal, heartbreak, anguish, disappointment, instead of channeling that into alcoholism or drugs or negative habits, go work out, go to the gym, go on a run, work on a business. Instead of going 12 hours out and clubbing and partying, you can sit on your laptop. In 12 hours, especially in today's day and age with coding being so easy using AI, you can build a website in 1 hour, 2 hours, do all of your SEO, all of your branding, everything is done. Then you just go find clients. get attention. There is no excuse for not being successful in 2026.
100%. I have another question. This is one of my favorite questions I ask people, even if I know them closely, because it gives you some reasoning about it before you actually can answer, because there's about a bit of storytelling. I heard it the first time at Y Combinator. And this question is, please tell us about the time you most successfully hacked some non-computer system to your advantage.
Wow. Okay.
So,
look, most people will be able to answer this question directly.
Just saying.
I'm going to exercise my right to stay silent because I'm a lawyer and people are aware of the nature of my business and what I'm able to do for clients and myself. So if I now explicitly say certain things, I may or may not incriminate myself and my clients. I will not do that. Just a disclaimer. I was just using that as an example. I have never, for myself or for my clients or friends or anybody around me, have done anything to hack into any non-computer system, whether it's governmental, whether it's banking.
Yeah, I think you 100% got the question.
However, what other systems have I hacked? Let me rephrase the question. Mm-hmm. I think that I've hacked societal systems.
Yeah, this is what I meant with the question, by the way.
Sure. Societal systems, people's beliefs. Growing up in a village in England, life is simple. You can go get a job, a plumber, construction worker. Yeah, you can go be a lawyer and work for somebody or go be a doctor. That's standard, I think, globally. But I did not want to do that. I wanted to always be an entrepreneur. Like I said, knowing the law just helps me in business. So I completely went against all social beliefs. Nobody believed me. I'm a Turkish kid who grew up in a small village in England. So all the odds were stacked against me. I went to the big city with all the rich, successful people around me. I just worked my way up. And actually, instead of going into employment, I just went straight into being an entrepreneur. And I failed and failed and failed. I went bankrupt 3-4 times. Not just the time I mentioned. There were several absolute disasters in my life. So people who said, look, I told you so. This business thing, this entrepreneur thing isn't working for you. Go get a job. You can work for my father, or I know a company I can refer you. No, I don't want to do it. I want freedom. I want freedom for myself, for my family. I don't want someone telling me when I can go use the bathroom, when I can go on holiday, when I can eat my lunch. I can go work on a beach right now at 8 p.m. on a Tuesday, eating steak and smoking a cigar, and I can still do my work for my clients. I can do what I want, when I want. I don't need to speak to anybody I don't like. And that is the exact thing that society tries to prevent you from doing. Most people cannot do it. Most people will not do it. They're scared to do it, and they try and bring you down with them as well. Birds of a feather flock together. If you hang around with losers, you will end up a loser. So I surround myself with successful people, with ambitious people like yourself, and completely override all social expectations.
Amazing. So one question, you know the concept of the 4 freedoms: time, location, financial, and health.
Yeah.
Like you want to be wherever you want, like location freedom to be at any spot in any city, any place on earth you want to be, or beyond earth. Time to allocate the time as you want and don't be constrained by anything.
Yeah.
Financial, of course, having financial freedom, or would you interpret as that, like having a comfortable life, and health, to be healthy. Would you say you achieved all the 4 freedoms, now being 26?
Yes, I believe so. Now, look, health is by far the most important. The rest are meaningless if you're dead or if you're dying. So always focus on your health, fitness, everything. But I think something that probably isn't mentioned but probably falls into health is peace of mind.
Oh, this is a good one.
That is something that I admittedly do not have right now. I am always stressed. There's always deadlines. There's always problems. If you run a successful business, there are always problems. It means you're doing something right. You can either have a comfortable life and be happy and chill, as they say, or you can be successful and rich, but you can have a lot of problems. More money, more problems. That's an old saying, and it's absolutely true. So, and I prefer that life. I'd rather the stress of business and getting sued and clients and lawsuits over not having enough money to provide healthcare for people around me. And look, make all your money now and you can enjoy your life later on anyway. There are people who say, oh, what if it doesn't work? Or what if you die in 5 years? Well, at least I died doing what I enjoy.
Amazing. Yeah. So you said you achieved the 4 freedoms and you mentioned the other ones. So what freedoms do you think are aspirable for you right now in your current position?
Can you repeat the question?
So you achieved your 4 freedoms, the basic ones. So what's beyond that? You said that you're not always stressed out like as a freedom. Let's say, what's aspirable to you as goals or as freedoms you want to achieve now?
Look, the only one is peace of mind. However, I feel as though if I have peace of mind, my ambition will go. The reason I'm so motivated every single day is because I'm determined. Whether I want to prove people wrong, whether it's, they say success is the best revenge. There's certain people who did not believe in me. It feels good to prove them wrong. I have people who depend on me. I have responsibilities. So as much as I want peace, I think it will be detrimental to me. So we just keep adding more problems, more business, more problems. And we still get scammed now. People still try and take from you. So
you had the chance to talk to your 18-year-old self again, starting your first venture as 18. What advice would you give them now?
Don't trust women too much. I think stay away from most women, but then again, if you don't go through these experiences, you will not learn from them. The same way I got scammed in business, I would not change anything because it's better to get scammed at a young age than when you're 45 with family and kids.
Yeah, right? That's a good point. Like if you need to be scammed, if it's part of character development, rather do it early than too late.
Yeah, most people want to. So look, most of the work is done behind the scenes. Most people go on Instagram and show how hard they're working. I'm grinding, but when the camera's off, they're not really doing much. They want to show people they're rich, to show people they're successful. None of that means anything. Most people do not care about you. In 5 minutes, they're gone. Nobody talks about the Titanic submarine right now, okay? And that was a huge event. So if you do something now, no one cares in a week from now. So stop trying to prove to other people, especially to women, to go out and take them to get tables, spend thousands of dollars a night on women, and tomorrow they're going to be with someone else. Okay, so, and also that you're trying to flex on social media and rent cars and rent all this, and you'd be struggling with your apartment rent, or you're living in a little studio, but you're flexing Lamborghinis and Ferraris. Save the money, invest the money into something that's going to generate cash flow and to make you more money. Trust me, no one really cares about what car you drive, what house you live in. What they care about is the value you provide. And if you're always worrying about not having money, you cannot build. You cannot survive, be in survival mode, and also be creative at the same time. So get your basic needs out the way, get some money saved up, and then look at what to invest that in. Most people don't know what actual hard work means.
This is what I wanted to say. Like, what's considered hard work? Like, especially, many people don't really know how to define hard work. Like, for me, example, many people think I'm hardworking every day because I have a space company and everything, but I don't realize I'm sitting with my MacBook on the beach and work from there. Like, it's not, I mean, it's a lot of ingenuity and like a lot of things are happening, but I don't consider it hard work, even though it's like productive work.
Look, anyone can work hard for a day or two. Anyone can diet for a day or two. If you go to the gym for 6 months, 6 days a week and diet to the exact gram, that takes discipline. Discipline is what's important. So there's hard work and there's discipline. Working 12 to 16 hours every single day for 5 years, 7 days a week, that's very, very difficult, not going out. So hard work is determined in terms of sacrifice, sacrificing leisure, sacrificing time with friends, with girlfriends, with women, with not going out to nice places. Try doing that for 5 years when all your friends are having fun and living their best life. It's incredibly difficult. So the only way to do it is to believe in yourself that it's going to work, even though 99% of the time you'll fail.
So would you say your interpretation of hard work changed over time? Like it evolved, like things that seemed to be hard before are now easy and you don't really see it as hard work anymore? Or like what do you say, how it evolved over time since the first venture?
Absolutely. The actual work that I do is easy. The legal work I do, the consultancy, that's easy. That's just applying facts to a problem and finding a solution. The hard work is actually managing the relationships. It's the mental part of business. It's managing relationships, it's speaking to people, dealing with rejections. The amount of times I've had a deal that was closed and last minute the client decides, it's fine. And it's usually the clients who say they have a lot of money that do that. So rejection handling and handling objections is very, very important. That's the real hard work. It's the sacrifices you have to make.
But what were the things that seemed difficult in the beginning, but now became easy or feel easy, or you won't consider them hard work anymore because it's so in the flow. You're like so adapted to it that it feels like every day, everything.
Sales meetings.
Really?
Yeah. When I was an introvert growing up. I still am. I prefer to be alone. I have to be around people to make money. And certain people I enjoy being around. But when I first had my sales call, I choked. I just I lost the whole deal. It was awful. It was a £250 deal to do a small contract for a client. I just could not get my words out. I didn't know what questions to ask them. So after spending more and more time with people, going out with these people, just knowing that they're just like me. It doesn't matter if they're a king or a prince, and I speak to a lot of them now. They're just people like me. We have normal conversations. They're not special. They're not unique. There's no need to put them on a pedestal. As soon as I conditioned my mind to understand that fact, sales became easy. So the practice makes perfect. In my case, I practiced to the point where it was past perfection. I just non-stop rejections and sales calls. After 2 years, I started to make money.
Amazing. So were there certain tasks or things like skills you learned along the way who seemed hard in the beginning, but then became not only easy, but enjoyable to do? Like something that you would do for free, even if this would be like a hobby or something like this?
What skills that were difficult?
Like things you learn on the way of being an entrepreneur that seem difficult in the beginning, like it's a hard working, but then realize it's mad fun to do that and you do that all the time, even if you wouldn't get paid for it.
Arranging events.
You're saying?
I absolutely love events.
Really?
So when I host events, I'll have the world's most expensive teas there. Mm-hmm. I'll invite the most successful people I know, business people, politicians, all to the table. It's really, really fun. It's never about business. Business is just a byproduct of a good friendship, in my opinion. My most successful business deals have been with my friends. Everyone I work with, I'm friends with.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Like you trust a stranger or what?
So basically, you're just spending time with your friends and making money.
Right.
We spend nearly every day together. Mm-hmm. We have recently. Mm-hmm. And every day we sit on our laptops at a beach or a bar or a lounge, shisha lounge or a nightclub. Or a nightclub. Yeah. We were in a nightclub with our MacBooks just behind the DJ. We hired a table and we just worked the whole night. Mm-hmm. Everyone around us had fun. But we just worked. But that was fun. We were enjoying ourselves and we made money. So
why work in the office if you can work in a club?
And why work with people you hate?
Right?
Work with your best friends.
There are these people, I don't get them, what they're saying, that they don't want to make business with friends or family because they don't want to have private and business interfere. Like, what do you have to say to them?
Well, who else are you
without demonetizing the video.
Okay. So this has been very difficult. Well, who else can you trust?
Yeah, right?
You how many brain cells do you have to make such a statement? You don't need many brain cells to understand that you can trust your family more than a random stranger. Look, I understand not all families are perfect. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, some families are just, you cannot trust them. Mm-hmm. I know from experience as well, on one part of my family's side, my father's side, I cannot trust them. However, then you find friends. Then you find high quality people and you attract what you are. When I was around scammers all the time, I kept attracting them. I couldn't get away from them. Now I'm around good people, successful businessmen, generous people, loyal people. I attract that as well. Everyone around me is extremely ambitious, extremely loyal, extremely friendly. My bank accounts get frozen often. That's just part of business. I ask my other clients, I ask friends, look, I need $20,000 this month to pay my expenses. Can you give it? They do not think twice. So that they're the friends you need to have in your life. And if something happens to them, I'll be the first person to help them.
100%. Like you need to make business with your friends, or better to say you make your friends doing business and then you do business with them.
Absolutely. Very well said.
Yeah. Amazing. I couldn't agree more with everything, these experiences and everything. So do you have anything you would say to the audience right now? Like majority of my audience are like young people who want to be entrepreneurs or are entering like entrepreneurship very early. What do you have for advice you want to tell them?
Look, the number one advice I gave already. I'll repeat the quote. It's because it's a very, very important quote and you can use it every single day. It's a fool complains about a hole in his pocket and the wise man uses it to scratch his balls. Very, very wise words. I say this in front of politicians. But aside from it sounding funny, the core message behind the quote is very, very important. It doesn't matter what problems you have in life. You can have no money, no parents, no family, no friends, nothing. I promise you, if you just take action, you're already ahead of 50% of the people. People just do not take action. Mm-hmm. Motivation fades away. discipline is what continues. Everyone's motivated when they watch a video of somebody on Instagram flexing a car. The second they turn the video off, they'll go watch Netflix. So because, oh, my life is so problematic, I have all this going on in my life, I can't be successful. I don't have what it takes. I promise you, most rich and wealthy people I know, aside from my friends, are extremely dumb. It's probably how they made their money. They just do not think too much, they do it. And most of them fail so many times. They lose their families, they sacrifice their relationships, their marriages, just to focus on their business. You have to be obsessed. You need to have a magnificent obsession with succeeding in your business. So that's my advice. Just take action, regardless of your circumstances. On paper, I should not have succeeded. I should have been a complete failure. Nothing was in my favor growing up. And even now, the odds are stacked against me. So I continue to take action every day. I don't listen to what anybody has to say. People laugh at me. Oh, you're going online, you're doing this business. I don't care. What car do you drive? No, I don't need to work. You need to go to an office, and where I can work from anywhere in the world. I can do whatever I want. So I'm happy. I don't care. Anyone in the world can hate me. It does not matter.
Amazing, you said. So, and then as a lawyer, as being someone who has like first-hand experience and then decided to go to law afterwards, like most people that start with law and then they get the first experience, the other way around. What is some legal advice or some things you would advise like the audience that should protect themselves? But that's not generic.
Yeah, it's to be proactive, not reactive. Now, most people hate lawyers. Why? We're expensive, ridiculously expensive, and that's well deserved because most business owners do the most stupid things you can think of. To get them out of this mess costs time and money. Cases can last years. So if we charge hundreds of thousands of dollars for a case or an acquisition, it's worth the money. Why? People go to lawyers when it's too late, when they're already having a case. We're lawyers, not miracle workers. So if you've completely messed everything up already, there's really very little we can do but to lower the impact. So go to a lawyer when you start your business. Get your house in order before you go to court. So if you go to a court, you have the best contract. If you're in litigation with the other side, with a defendant, and you're suing them, if you don't have a proper contract that's AI generated, that doesn't have the proper legal terminology, because each word is important, you're going to lose the case. And then you're going to have to pay a lawyer a lot more money to appeal, to do all the extra legal work. Just have a lawyer, pay a lawyer $2,000 to do a contract.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that most people don't even have the money to pay a lawyer. So what for them, for these people? I mean, one thing I would say to them from my personal experience is that when I started out as I think my first company I was like 15, 16 and it failed. But this was like my first attempt of a company. Many people were open to give me things for free because they were fascinated that a young person tries to start a company. For example, I had a lawyer back then before I met you.
Wait, what?
I didn't tell you a story.
You cheated on me with another lawyer?
No, this was before I met you. I told you.
There's a camera right here.
Of course, total upgrade. Yeah, this was like an average normal lawyer, not like a $1 billion type of lawyer that advises like $1 trillion companies. But they were open to give me like free advice and help me out, and also reviewed contracts for free because they were just fascinated that like a 16, 17-year-old was trying to start a company. Also, my tax accountant even worked for free for my first year. I didn't pay him. He was just fascinated. This was like before this company, like way before my first company. Just because they're fascinated. So it's very often that you have like this young founder privilege. I say this.
That's true. I agree. Young people can also be naive. Now, do they know what your accountant did to you?
Oh no, this is another one.
It's another one. Okay. Okay. So like, no one really will do anything for free unless they're your really good friends. So chances are they're probably not very good. However, I understand you don't have the money to afford someone you're going to pay thousands of dollars. As a business owner, as a businessman, you can offer shares. You can offer other incentives to people who will want to get involved.
Yeah, the shares is actually a good thing. You can have stock options or something like this.
I have shares in 3 different companies.
All right.
Just in this country alone. Because I did free legal services for them. I took shares. Far more money than getting a monthly retainer.
Way more now. Yeah. So this is actually a valid option. If you can pay with cash, offer them shares. And then try to oversell. Like, don't sell too many shares. Like, be like careful with that.
Absolutely.
Like, protect it. But it's a valid option. But But I need to say the young founder privilege for me personally had a very, very strong effect. I still have it. Like, I'm 20. I would still consider myself young. I'm not like an old unk. Yeah, but
no, agree. Not yet.
not yet. But I would say if you like, I would say like less than 25. Everything under, I don't think with 30 you have this anymore. I highly doubt that.
How old was the founder of KFC? 60 odd.
Yeah,
he was around
but
60.
he didn't have the young founder privilege. Like he needed to use like personal funds.
He had to grind, yeah. And of course, there's no point having millions when you're 60, 70, you can barely walk. So now is the age. It depends on your circle. If you're here, you have young founder privilege. If you're in England, because
this is very regional thing, by the way. In I would say in the UAE or in the US, you have it very, very strong, the young founders privilege. Everyone was trying to help you out. Very often there was a very fun scenario that people who like above 40s, like business owner, were helping me out for free because I should talk to their son and like be like a type of inspiration for them to also be an entrepreneur. Like this is like a recurring incident that this happens. That random people in different industries, like they approach me on LinkedIn or something like that. They want to talk with me, invite me for dinner. We had some business exchange and these kind of things. And I didn't need to pay them for anything. They just wanted me to talk with their... Yeah, we were even together. You remember?
I remember.
In the one restaurant?
The thing about you is, you asked me for advice. I said take action. Mm-hmm. You are one of the biggest action takers I know. So we were planning on raising, 2 million? And you said, let's get 10 million. Yeah, it's just, and you just do it and it works. Whether it's securing government connections, building rockets, satellites, drones, you've done it all. Mm-hmm. So at 14 years old, you did this, which is crazy. So, the same principle applies in all.
Just take action, because many people, they fear that something goes wrong, but if something goes wrong, you start with nothing, you have nothing to lose. You live by your parents' house. What if the company goes bankrupt? Nothing happens. You still live at your family's house or something like that.
Even if you don't, one day we're all gonna die. So you're not taking anything with you. Life is so risky.
It's like you can only win, you cannot lose. Like if you start a company, it fails, just start another one.
Yeah.
Like what should happen? Yeah. If you lose like a few $100, maybe a few $1,000s, you still live at your parents' house. You don't need to worry about mortgage or car payments or these kind of things.
It depends on your upbringing. Not everyone has the drive, but
But usually, as a young founder, most of you probably live at your parents' also. I live in in a university accommodation. They pay like nothing for that, like very low. Like you don't have any big loans or like millions of dollars in debt.
No responsibility.
Just starting with zero is already privileged. Some entrepreneurs that start with negative. Yeah. They're like a few $1 million in debt. They don't even have a negative credit score. If they walk into a bank, they get escorted by security. Yeah. Like starting with nothing is way better than starting with negative. So use this privilege to the fullest extent. With that, we wrap up this episode. It was amazing to talk with you. This is, I think, the best episode so far.
Thank you very much, brother.
This was absolutely amazing. I hope I see you on a future episode again.
Yeah, well, you're going to see me tonight. So see you soon. Thank you.
See you soon.
Thank you.